Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Call Girls Investment Club podcast.
The multi-million-dollar episode?
Probably. I have some hot takes. Do you want to hear my hot takes, Mom?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you're going to disagree with me on some of these. I believe that Robinhood was in their legal right to do what they did. They legally had the right to do it. I think it's incredibly stupid. I think there are a variety of other options they could have taken. And I think that they were reacting to what they claim was, they believed was a problem, but in actuality was very likely not a problem at all in the first place. And so because of this, I think that Robinhood has, by acting within their rights as a company as outlined by the terms and services agreement that you have to accept to use the app, single-handedly tanked the accounts of a large percent of their users.
Maybe should we catch people up in case there's new people that, or people who are not, how could someone not be aware of what happened this week? There's short sellers who benefit from borrowing stock and selling it before they own it, and hoping that it'll crash so they can buy it back at a cheaper price and then give it back to the person who lent it to them.
Okay.
And people are pissed, so pissed, because there was a run on Gamestop stock. It skyrocketed up 500%. And all these little guys are making money on it. And Robinhood shut them down, made the stock crash by allowing only sales of the stock. And they, along with all these other brokers, all did it at the same time and crashed the stock. And people are mad and saying it's a conspiracy and that somebody made them do it like short sellers.
Yeah. I
have a bombshell to tell you about why that happened.
Before we get to that, I want to clear up some potential misconceptions that our audience may have. You may have heard of a group of people called r/WallStreetBets.
Damn right. Even Jim Cramer talks about them.
Now let me ask you something.
Even David Portnoy talks about them.
Is r/WallStreetBets an organization?
No, it's a free speech. Look, okay.
It is not.
This is just politics.
Here's the thing.
This is the same as politics. Crooked corporations.
This is different. Because here's the thing. r/WallStreetBets is not an organization. It is not a conspiracy. It is, even if they say that they are a conspiracy, that is fundamentally not what they are. What they are is a website that you can basically join and post messages about. And the way this all started was people said, hey, if people if these big hedge fund investors are short selling these stocks, and then the stock that goes up, they'll have to buy the stocks, and that'll make the stock go up more.
Right. This all started because short sellers shorted 140% of the stock that was available. They borrowed almost 1.5 times as much stock as existed. Okay, I'm just going to tell you my bombshell because I just read it.
Okay.
And I can't believe this. Okay, the stupid CEO of Robinhood gets on and explains why he did it, and it was a tough decision. And he keeps talking about these things called cash requirements, SEC capital and clearinghouse cash requirements, net capital. Okay, and I kept thinking, okay, if a stock is going up, why does he need more cash? I get it that he thinks there's a possibility of the stock going down, and therefore they're liable to all the people with a margin, all the people that borrowed money, all the new people that joined up and they gave them free cash for 3 days early, right?
Right.
Okay, but what he did crashed the stock. So he basically said, I'm afraid you guys might lose money, therefore I'm going to make you lose money.
Yeah.
Okay, the bombshell is this. When a short seller sells a stock, he's got to borrow the stock from somewhere. Do you know where he borrows it from? Broker dealers. Do you know where all the GameStop stock is being held? Massive amounts of it? Robinhood. Do you know who lent all those short sellers the stock? Robinhood. Do you know how much they get paid for lending stock out when it's really popular? Like a 80% return. Robinhood had an interest in the stock going down because they would not be paid back by all these. People cannot return the stock to them if it goes to the moon. People can't give them back the stock. They'd be insolvent if GameStop went up all the way. They have to save the short sellers because it's their interest, because it's their money. They're the ones making the money.
That makes a lot of sense to me, and I want to walk you through something, a little thought process, a little thought exercise we can go through, which is what Robinhood claims is the reasoning behind their actions, and we hold it up against their actions. Robinhood's entire claim is essentially it revolves around the idea that, okay, we are technically making money off of people trading a lot on volatile stocks, but at the same time, we are also loaning out margin to those people, and if the stock is so volatile, there's a lot of risk there that we can't quite cover. And so my question for Robinhood is, why don't you do the exact same thing you did, but only for margin? Just say,
right,
okay,
right. My
our
options aren't on
margin trading is now restricted. You can only borrow money from us if you use it to buy stocks that are not volatile.
That's
that
what normally is done.
Completely makes sense. It would.
That's called changing the margin requirement of a specific stock. So, like, that totally makes sense. When I was trading with Schwab on Tesla, and Tesla got really iffy, they thought, because I was betting against all the short sellers back then, they raised my margin requirements all of a sudden. They said, no, now we will only cover, 70% instead of 50% or whatever,
And you know what that tells me is what you've just told me. That tells me that the reason they restricted it is because Robinhood goes, well, if we make it so that people can only sell GameStop, when they sell it, they'll sell it to us, and then we can sell it to the short sellers.
They don't sell it, though.
They don't sell it, but
yeah, so
whatever.
You're talking too fast.
I don't know
what
how
I
it
said.
works.
Yeah.
But
so let me repeat what I said, because you had something you wanted to say, and I don't know you really heard me about what I'm saying as a bombshell is the short sellers are their main client.
yes, that's what I was getting at. Is
I didn't know that till I read it.
I believe that the reason they restricted
out.
buying and allowed for selling is so that they would have the stock for. I don't know how short selling
Okay, so
works.
here's what I'm thinking. They're thinking this is out of control. One side's winning, the other side's losing. We're going to lose a lot of money and a lot of clients, and their best clients are big short sellers, big hedge funds, right? Those are the big clients that all these companies are loyal to.
Right.
So what they did was basically rebalance the market, end the short squeeze for a day. So those guys had a chance to get out. Did you see the dive in GameStop?
And if that's the case, then I do think that the legality of it comes into question. It's a question of really. Here's the problem I have with the whole debate about the legality of the situation is it a crime to manipulate the price of a stock when the price of that stock in the first place is so obviously dependent on your company? Because regardless of what Robinhood had done, what they had done through action or inaction would have been considered manipulating the stock.
I got a really cool video.
If Robinhood had done nothing, then people could have claimed that they were manipulating the stock to go up. If Robinhood if Robinhood did what they did, then people are claiming that they manipulated the stock to go down. But the truth is, the reason GameStop was going up so high in the first place is in part directly because of Robinhood's existence.
Well, I got another question. Could they have limited how many new people were signing up for Robinhood?
That's also an option. That comes off as more anti-consumer, I think.
Or temporarily suspend new margin accounts or something.
Well, it's not that it's new margin accounts. I think that the bigger problem, if you want to go the route of the margin is the reason why, I think the bigger risk
That's what
would
they're
have
claiming.
I think the bigger risk wouldn't have been new accounts. I think it would have been old accounts who make a ton of money off of the margin and then use that extra money to buy more margin.
Yes, which is what those guys were doing.
Exactly.
I have 3 videos. I have a video that's very interesting from Jim Cramer from 2006 explaining how these hedge funds manipulate the market all the time, manipulate the prices all the time. I don't know whether to show it. I think you should see at least part of it because it's fascinating the way he just says, "Oh yeah, it's legal and all hedge funds should do it." And then he said basically if they want the price to go down in the morning, they'll sort of bid it up in pre-market. They'll bid it up in pre-market. He says, "Oh, it only costs a couple $1 million."
I feel like we haven't fully explained the situation to our viewers yet. I feel like we kind of just jumped right into arguing about it.
Well, let's do that then.
So,
I already explained what short selling is.
So,
I already explained how I didn't explain how Reddit users on WallStreetBets are bidding the price up, but you kind of touched on that.
Yeah, but then what we didn't explain is why it dropped and how it dropped. So the reason why all of these stocks, not just GameStop, literally every single stock that was involved in the WallStreetBets fiasco simultaneously dropped all on the same day, right at the open. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is that Robinhood and other trading companies as well, but I think Robinhood is the biggest offender and also the one that is most closely tied to a lot of the investors who are on WallStreetBets, and therefore the biggest, and also they're the site that is specifically claiming to be for these investors, decided, okay, starting today, you can no longer buy this stock. You can no longer buy options in this stock. The only thing you can do is sell the stock and sell the options you own on the stock.
Yeah, and it's supply and demand. There's no more demand.
Yeah.
They've killed demand instantly.
At that point, it is impossible to buy more, and because of that,
everyone knows it's going to drive the price down. They panic and they sell.
Down.
Michael, my plan for this episode, I was actually thinking we'd do a little freeform where we're chatting about this stuff. And then I thought maybe chronologically we could go day by day. Because when I show you the price of GameStop on Monday and the price of the options, you're going to die. It went up 500% in 3 days. Mm-hmm. But before we do, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. Because of the price of GameStop getting so high, all these index funds, like particularly XRT, I don't trade that, but I don't know if it's on the NASDAQ or where GME is. GME is GameStop. I didn't do the research before this episode. I had so many things to share that I didn't do the research. But XRT is an example of a index fund that now, because of the price of GameStop, if you own this index fund, you own GameStop. So when GameStop finally goes down, your XRT is going to crash. Mm-hmm. So anybody holding an index fund, this is a warning that you really should look and see what's in it. Also, the market was tanking because people were buying GameStop and all these shorts, all these hedge funds were losing so much money they had to sell things off. I have a picture of Alibaba. One of the firms had a big holding in Alibaba and they sold it all at once and there was a huge drop in Alibaba. What do you think of the idea of doing a chronological? I have these slides.
Okay.
So here's Monday. This is, I can't remember. Were we talking about this Reddit and WallStreetBets last week? Wasn't I talking about it?
I think we touched on it, but I don't think we fully delved into it.
And I also predicted the market was going to tank when Apple reported earnings on Thursday. And it did, because Apple was overvalued. But I think it did mainly because of this. So here on Monday, this is a list. I was already looking. This is a list of the most heavily shorted stocks on the market. And all these stocks that they're trading on Reddit, AMC Theaters, GameStop, Nokia, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, they're all up at the top of the list, almost all of them. One or two of those, they just like the stock. But that's public knowledge. And this list actually shows right at the top, GameStop is 138% shorted, right, which is impossible. So this is Monday. And I was looking at the earnings calendar because Apple, I thought, Apple's going to crash the market. Here's GameStop. It was trading at $72. It's trading at 350 now.
Yeah.
Here's Tuesday. I bought in. I decided I was watching this. I thought, I don't know if it's too risky or what. I'm going to try to dabble in it. So I bought $10,000 worth, and I bought it for $37.70, and I sold it for $55.40. And I thought, wow, that's a pretty good return, 75%. Wow. And then the next day, I figured I'd day trade it. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a lot of people were day trading. So the next day was Wednesday. I couldn't day trade it. I couldn't buy it. I kept putting orders in. They kept canceling. They wouldn't fill it. And I suspect Robinhood actually stopped allowing trades on Wednesday. It could be nobody wanted to sell it, but I would put bids in for prices way higher than what was bid and asked, and it wouldn't fill. Remember I told you I just can't buy it back in? Mm-hmm. I can't get it. So I kind of gave up on GameStop. I couldn't get it. So I thought, okay, I'll trade something that hasn't gone up yet, but they're starting to talk about Nokia because they just started talking about it. What turned out happening is the people on Reddit said later, they said, ignore these other stocks these guys are talking about. Nokia is being posted by robots. They're getting robots in there to talk about other stocks to split us up. They don't want us all focused on GameStop. So they were saying it's a fraud. But all these people fell for it, so people kept posting about Nokia. But at this point, they hadn't said it was a fraud. So I got into Nokia. These are the options I was in that day. I bought BB, which was one of theirs. It was not. This is how much it was up that day. I didn't really make this profit because I bought in after it already started going up. But the profit. Oh my
God!
I know the profit on Nokia was 987% that day. BlackBerry up 99%. Here's this was your stock, CRSR. You know what I did? I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but I posted in Reddit CRSR, and it shot up right about that time, and that's what led to this 200%, 240%, and 110%. And then it went down again, and I almost think it's just my single post actually had 1 million people looking at it. And, you know, my posts really made a difference. So after that day, these guys on Reddit have a lot of power, because after that day, I was posting a couple other things, and I'd get a reply back that said, you're not allowed to post. You don't have enough karma. You're too new a member. Well, my account is from like 3 years ago, so I'm not too new a member.
Well, okay.
Oh, I'm a new member to WallStreetBets.
No, but I know that. But how much karma do you have on Reddit? Like how often?
2 or something.
Well, that's the problem then. It has nothing to do with how new the account is.
Well, they didn't kick me out when I posted about CRSR.
Tons of subreddits do this. Actually, tons of subreddits do this. They restrict your account until you have a certain amount of Reddit karma, because
they get bots.
That's how yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
And you can make a bot 3 years ago, but if the bot is like that, then it won't.
Well, that makes sense, because they're saying that these guys are trying any way possible to break them.
Yeah.
They're posting about other stocks. They're posting about, this big famed short seller, Melvin. He sold everything. He's out. So now you can't squeeze him anymore. And they got CNBC to report on this. And CNBC said, these short sellers are out. They have nothing left to gain. Except for, I have a clip of Kramer from 2006 talking about how these hedge funds work. And he's sitting there saying, yeah, you basically lie about it, and you call up CNBC and they run the story, and this is how you manipulate the stock. He's like telling this guy this. And he's telling him all the secrets of hedge funds, because this was filmed before he was that big on CNBC. And he's like, oh yeah, no one will tell you this stuff, but I don't care. I think he probably cares now. So because everyone's putting all this money into GameStop and all these short sellers are selling everything else to cover their shorts, the Dow dropped 700 points. It was the biggest drop in 3 months. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
now we're getting to the point, which is how I lost all my money.
We're almost getting there. So here's Nokia. Are we on Wednesday? Yeah. So I'm making money. This is great.
And I'm up double what I initially started with on my investment. I'm up to 2,000, and I hear
you had 2,800?
Yeah, I had 2,600.
2,600 from his $1,000 investment. And I'm like, this guy is a genius.
I hear my mom talking
about
so
all
these
Reddit
of guys, and she says, I'm going to get in on Nokia. And I'm like, okay, I'll buy a few Nokia.
No, I made money, and I said to you, wow, you should really get in on this too. This one hasn't gone up yet. That's before I knew they were saying it was a bot. I should have known because look at this. Nokia 666. I always love these screenshots when it's the devil's number there. So here's Nokia's chart. Straight up. And meanwhile, on WallStreetBets, they're saying stuff like, for all you big effing hedge funds, they're actually swearing, monitoring us. This is a message from us to you. We effing own you now. F you. Go buy the effing news. Like any comment so they can see this post. F you, Melvin Capital. F you, Citron Research. Those are short sellers. You haven't closed S. Because they're like claiming they closed. Both Melvin and Citron came out with press releases saying we no longer own any of these stocks. And the reason I screenshot all these guys is because they're all talking and they're like, how come Melvin and Citron both came out within a few minutes of each other to say this? They never talk about what their holdings are. Why are they saying it? Why would they want to convince us?
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of convincing us? If they really don't like us for killing their companies, why would they even, tell us? So anyway, I was making a lot of money on Nokia, and I'm urging you to buy it. And then I was urging you to buy GameStop, but we couldn't buy GameStop. And there is your 1 penny call.
This is so dumb.
This is really weird. Michael bought a call.
I bought a call in Nokia. I bought a lot of money in Nokia.
Wasn't this call like $6.67? That's what it says down. Or is that what was the price when you bought it?
That was the price of the stock at that point, but
right.
The call was at 0.01 because one guy was like, I'm going to sell my Nokia and I'm not going to put the limit in.
Yeah, we think it was a market order. So then I had this great idea. I put in a whole bunch of orders at 1 cent.
Are you still doing this?
No, I did it one day and I was like, oh, forget it.
Really?
Everything you put an order in for, it reserves that much cash. So every time I put an order for one contract, I put in an order for 100 contracts at 1 cent. It would set aside $100 toward that, and I couldn't spend that on anything else.
Right. And for me, I thought that was worth it because I was only spending one contract, so that's 10 cents.
I estimated most of these, if I got one of them to fill that was a 1 cent 100 contracts, I would have made $2 million on that. So I thought, well, this is worth it. There's probably some dumb people out there that are going to put in I don't know. There has to be nobody ahead of you so that they go to buy and there's nothing, or they go to sell and there's nothing between you and them. Nobody's selling. I just put this screenshot in this guy. Let's see what he bought. That guy that made the $47 million, he bought GME. Can you read that? It's like a call. It's a February 16 call for $16.
April 16 call.
April? He's got so much time to make the money.
Yeah.
How much is it worth? How much did it pay? Does it say?
It's a $12 call for total gain.
How many did he buy?
16 million. And then
he's got 47 million in GME. So whenever they have a success,
quantity 500.
Just 500?
There could be 500 contracts.
Yeah, it should be, but wow.
And then he bought 50,000 shares of GameStop on its own.
This is a great screenshot. But I wonder where he's at now, I wonder if he took some of it off the table.
Right.
They're all saying hold, so anybody who's made a ton of money, they feel obligated to hold. So Thursday rolls around, right?
Right.
So I'm going to try to day trade again. Did I get out of Nokia? Oh, I think I was up to my day trading limit at this point. So I had to stay in Nokia. And then overnight it went down. And I kept telling you, I think it went down, and I kept telling you to buy it. So I was going to buy back into GME, and this is what I got on the screen. I did a GME browse, and it's just blank. This is why I started wondering, what the heck is going on? This is Thursday morning at 6:02, 6:04. I'm looking at the Nokia I have, and I go to see if I can buy any more, and I just get the sell button. That's it. This is before I knew what was going on.
Yeah. And you didn't wake me up at this point.
I forgot you had Nokia.
I'm sorry.
And I thought, this is going to crash everything.
I slept through this.
I'm sorry, because I immediately sold because I thought this is going to crash everything. And you waked up at, what, 11?
I woke up at 11 and I looked in my account, and my account balance was down to like 600, and I was like,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
He went from 1,000 all the way up to 2,600 to 600.
Yeah.
So now, and it's weird because the day before I was just talking to him saying, you haven't had the experience yet of losing money. I will not feel like it's appropriate to give you more money to trade with until you've had this experience.
I lost money, and I kind of partially blame it on you. It's, of course, most of the blame is on me.
Because I didn't wake you up?
Well, that and also...
Or because I cursed you with that thinking?
That and also you're the reason I bought Nokia in the first place.
Oh, yeah. But I kept telling you when you were buying it. You might not realize this, but I kept telling you, no, GME is the one you want to buy, not Nokia. GME.
But then I didn't have enough money to buy one contract of GME.
That's correct. That's why you bought Nokia. But I kept telling you, I think they're saying Nokia's robots and GME's the shirt. Because I had talked to Dylan, and Dylan...
I honestly... I saw it go up, and towards the end of the market, I was legitimately considering just day trading it and selling off Nokia. And I said to myself, on Wednesday, Wednesday was the day I bought it, and I said to myself, you know what? I'll just sell it first thing tomorrow morning. It'll probably go up a little bit more. There's probably a little bit of...
Why didn't you set an alarm? You didn't wake up? Oh, no.
I didn't think
you were planning on selling it the next day.
Yeah, I was planning on selling it.
Oh,
and
we were talking.
If Robinhood hadn't canceled it, I legitimately believe that it would have maybe gone up a little bit more and not tanked that day. I think it might have probably tanked later when people started getting more invested in GME. But I'm just legitimately upset.
Yeah, now they're invested in Nokia.
I only bought Nokia as like, okay, this will let me make a little bit more money as Corsair falls back down and I can rebuy Corsair. That was the only reason I bought it.
I sold Corsair. Oh, I was up 26% when I sold Corsair that day that it spiked. But I sold it because this hype about GME, I thought anyone who's one of these gamer types that's like on the cutting edge is putting their money in GME and Nokia and AMC and not Corsair because it's not on their list.
Right. I think Corsair is going to be like...
Their earnings is coming up,
Corsair's
right?
coming out ahead in the long run. I think Corsair's going to report good earnings. I think right now, if you have any money left, you should buy Corsair. That's my advice.
There's a lot of factors that make a stock go up, and I feel like GME is going to still... have a lot of action. It's supply and demand of the stock. If everyone's distracted by GME when Corsair's earnings come out, do you really think they're going to go up? I think people are going to be still working on this.
Maybe it'll be a sleeper stock. I don't know.
I think I'd know better when it's closer to the earnings time.
Yeah, I think Corsair might be a good bet if you want to play it safe.
I'm going to watch it like a hawk.
Right now, I'm holding on to Nokia because I have nothing left to lose.
Yeah. Thursday when they did this and we all realized what the heck was going on, I started posting everywhere in Reddit and said that we should do a class action lawsuit. Within 5 minutes, I don't know if everyone thought of the same thing. This thing got posted about complaining to SEC and all these people. So I clicked on this. I complained to the SEC. I complained to Robinhood. I gave them a 1-star review in the Apple store. And then like the next day, everybody had given him 1-star reviews. There were hundreds of thousands of people giving him 1-star reviews. And Google actually went on the review site and deleted all the 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
What did you want to say?
I wanted to say, here's the thing. Everyone's saying GME, Nokia isn't getting any love.
No, Nokia's getting listed a lot on this Reddit site now.
Okay, well, anyways, the thing about Nokia is they're reporting their earnings next week. I don't know if they'll do good. If they do good and by chance my options become worth like around 1,500, I think I'll sell. Because I can't take it anymore. I just want to start over with the money I had at first.
I'm sorry.
And work my way back up. That's my plan.
So, Thursday we couldn't buy GME. And I thought, what are all these gamer guys going to buy? So I took a quick look at Bitcoin. Yes, I did. And Riot, I posted on Reddit I'm going to trade some options on Riot because they said you can't post anything about cryptocurrency and nothing under $1 billion market cap. So I checked it out, and Riot's more than $1 billion market cap. And I thought, well, maybe I can get this through. So I wrote, is it okay to post about Riot? And then somewhere else I posted, I'm going to buy some Riot options because they pay 10 to 1 on Bitcoin. And then Riot, I bought Riot. I made so much money on Riot that day. Oh, it's not on here.
What was that post about the audacity?
The f***ing audacity to call yourself Robinhood and instead steal from the poor. I had to include that because it's true. People are pissed. People got really pissed. Here's a chart of GME to the ground, just total plummeting. What does that say?
56%.
Okay, so if you have one day where you go up 100% and one day where you go down 50%, where are you at?
You're back where you started.
Yep. Trick question, because 50% on the way down equals 100% on the way up.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you... Oh, here's all my orders. Here, I'm trying to buy Nokia. Something went wrong. I emailed them. I was so mad. I said that you are responsible for my losses today. You are about to get a class action lawsuit. Which is true, because I got it within minutes. Here's posted already. 10 minutes later. Class action lawsuit. So Robinhood posts this stuff. Well, I couldn't print everything, but they posted this thing, keeping investors informed.
I never even got to talk about the biggest reason I'm mad. The thing about Robinhood. Here's the thing. I can completely understand if they had made the argument, we're doing this for our own protection. Like, screw the whole, like, if you put all of they're receiving funding from the hedge funds, that's their number one customer. You put all that aside, and you just assume they did this with good intentions. Not good intentions, but intentions of protecting themselves from margin. The fact that they have the audacity to claim that what they did not just in their own protection, but for the protection of their own customers.
Yeah, they're saying, it's for our customers' protection.
It's never for our protection. It's always our protection and our customers' protection. They always add it. And the fucking email I got where they went and said, hey, we're restoring buys tomorrow. And then they have a whole paragraph about how Robinhood is for everyone.
Oh, it was sickening the way they wrote it up. I posted, is this Kamala Harris's speechwriter? You know my politics, but it was sickening the way they better holier than thou, protecting you from yourself. Well, honestly, if you read between the lines, now that I've read that thing about the short sellers and where they get their stock and everything. They were protecting their customers. They were protecting their short seller customers. And I read in a couple sources that they locked our accounts from buying, but they let the institutional traders keep trading. How else did they have all the prices changing all day long while nobody could get their hands on it? But right. You know what Reddit did? They said immediately, everybody go out and trade on other accounts. And they started talking about different accounts that would allow trading. Something?
I don't know about that.
And you had a Cash App that was Cash App was letting people trade.
I couldn't get to work because I didn't have any money in my bank account at the time.
Yeah, I did not even try because the times where I've tried to switch accounts, it takes 3 days to get it set up, and they never give you credit right away. And
right. I already had a Cash App account. I could have if I had money in my U.S. bank account, but I didn't, and I didn't have the time to transfer it. I thought I could use my Robinhood card, but I couldn't.
So a lot of people think this was criminal. Here's what David Portnoy said, which I shrunk to a tiny print, and I can't read.
I'll read it. Prison time. Dems and Republicans haven't agreed on one issue till this. That's how blatant, illegal, unfathomable today's events are. It also shows how untouchable Robinhood app, Stephen A. Cohen 2C, Citadel Point 72 all think they are. Fines aren't enough. Prison or bust.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like I said earlier, I said at the beginning, I don't think what Robinhood did was strictly illegal. And I think that I will stand by that. I think they can get away with it. I think they would win in a court of law. Because the problem is, they have a terms and conditions on their app that you have to accept when you sign into the
I
app.
remember signing that and saying, well, whatever it is, I'll just sign it because I
And
want to trade with them.
on there, someone pointed out that they specifically state that they have the right to restrict trading of certain stocks.
Yeah, but restrict trading of certain stocks makes sense if it's both ways. If it's only one way, that's manipulation. I don't see how it's legal to restrict it in one direction.
Yeah. That's probably the argument they'll go with. However, I think that, yeah, that's actually a really good argument, and I think that calls into question a lot of the problems.
So senators are yelling about it. Dave Portnoy, who's this famed investment guy, he was basically a stock betting guy who got turned to stocks when we had the big shutdown of the economy because there's no sports, and he started posting about stocks.
Right.
Okay, I have this video. I kind of want to show you, but I think what I'll do is put it in the description, a link. But Cramer's sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, this is how hedge funds work. They'll do this thing where they trade these little tiny increments to try to influence the price. They'll lie. They'll issue a whole bunch of news that's fake news to these different news places." He was talking about Apple and how they were going to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to tell everybody that the phone will never fly. No one wants the phone because they decided they don't want to carry Apple products at all these stores, and we have inside information, and it'll be totally believable because Apple never publicizes anything about this, you know." And
Right.
and there I have Cramer saying this stuff, and I think he's turned to be. I think he's crooked. Here he is. He's urging GameStop to capitalize on the frenzy and issue new stock to pay off debt. They owe a lot of money. If they issue stock right now, they'll get a ton of money for their stock. They can pay off all their debts. It's like a snake eating its tail, you know?
Right.
But it will also drive the price down, supposedly. If they issue stock, they're diluting the demand is one thing, but they're giving a whole bunch of supply, right? So that would drive he's buddies with the hedge fund guys. When GameStop plunged, this is Friday's news. When GameStop plunged because they cut down on the trading, it plunged $11 billion, got wiped out in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
But because all these guys got on these other platforms and started buying GameStop again, the price started going up. And also, I think a lot of short sellers probably closed their positions at that point, and the price started going up. It was a V bottom. And now it's pretty close to where it was. Elon Musk. So Elon Musk posted this, I think this was Thursday, GameStonk. That's one word. And then he gave the link to the WallStreetBets site. By the way, when this week started, WallStreetBets had, I think it was a little under 1 million subscribers.
Right.
It's at 7 million right now, almost 7 million.
Oh, boy.
People just went nuts. This guy, look how sad he looks. He's like, regime change on Wall Street? They're saying the little guy's in charge. And Elon Musk really hates short sellers because they tried to destroy Tesla so many times. So then he does this other post. Here come the shorty apologists. Give them no respect. Get shorty. And then there's like two more here. Oh, here's one. You can't sell houses you don't own. You can't sell cars you don't own, but you quote unquote can sell stock you don't own. Question mark. This is BS. Shorting is a scam, legal only for vestigial reasons. So there you go. The reason I think GameStop will keep going up still for a bit is this has become very popular. There's a lot of big profile people like Elon Musk's behind it saying this should happen. People should destroy these short sellers. There was a Reddit post saying that there's a Chinese investor that now has said he's going to start buying GameStop. CNN says here it's become global. There's people all over the world buying it. And also on both, as you alluded to earlier, there's both Democrats and Republicans agreeing that what all these brokers did was wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are pissed. Oh, but I did mention about Riot. So this is the profit I made off Riot
Good job.
while it was shut down.
And then I told you to sell, and then you sold, right?
Oh, yeah. It was actually up 11% that day, and it was up 26% the next day. That's the profit I made.
And I told you to sell, and you sold, and you made it, right?
Well, the minute yes, you did tell me, but I also was going to do it anyway because they said they were going to open up trading the next day. And sure enough, Bitcoin went down again.
Nice.
Yep. So what a week. So what do you my thought was the third thing I was going to talk about today was where we're going.
I think at this point, here's the problem. The problem is it all depends on whether or not the people who are short selling these stocks actually managed to buy them off during the time in which the trading wasn't allowed.
So you want to know if the short sellers got out of their positions that day.
And I'm wondering.
Well, if they did, you know, I have an answer.
You do?
Yeah, because somebody was posting on Reddit saying they looked at the volume and did the math, and they said there's no way they could have exited their positions.
That's really good.
Although, honestly, this happened to me on Tesla once where I thought it was going to shoot up, and I did the math about the volume, and it didn't work out for me.
Right.
So it doesn't mean their math is correct. Or that
That's true.
I don't know. These short sellers have all these things up their sleeves, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of big money. They're big money, but the mob is really mad, and the politicians seem to be backing the mob. And so do a bunch of other people that are powerful.
It's interesting that Robinhood reopened the next day.
I think they got a lot of threats, and they got the lawsuits.
Right.
Also, they raised $1 billion to cover their capital requirements.
Right.
They got investors to raise $1 billion more.
Right. I think that here's the problem. The problem is that for all these stocks, earnings is coming up, and I am not sure if the earnings are going to be good or bad, because the entire reason, or rather, not really the entire reason, but a good chunk of the reason why these stocks are booming so much is because of the fact that they're shorted. And that has very little to do with the actual value and the actual companies behind the stocks. Yeah. It's mostly circulating around around the value of the stock itself.
You know that video I told you about that Kramer's in? He actually says, fundamentals don't matter. All that matters is just look what we can do with these stocks. It doesn't matter. We can manipulate the price.
And I think that a lot of people are saying, hold the line, diamond hands. But the problem with that is that eventually
someday everyone's selling.
To burst.
Well, they're all saying the target is 1,000.
It is an inevitability that stock is going to go back down at some point to normal levels. The question is whether that's already happened or whether it's going to shoot back up and then it's going to happen.
So reality doesn't matter so much as perception of reality.
Yes.
And whether or not the short sellers got out, everybody thinks they didn't.
That's the thing. That's a really important point. However, yesterday when they reopened trading, GameStop shot back up, I think, but Nokia
it's pretty
didn't.
High.
Nokia didn't. Nokia's still down.
Yeah, Nokia just suffered.
But Nokia was always a bit late in all of this.
But Nokia has news coming up.
Nokia does have news coming up.
I'm not sure when GameStop's earnings is, but Nokia's this week, right?
Right. We'll see.
So GameStop could turn around and sell stock. I think it would not affect these Reddit traders.
Also, Corsair's earnings are coming up the week after.
My point is, if GameStop comes out and says we're selling stock, I think it will temporarily make a blip, but I think the Reddit crowd is pissed, and they're just going to hold.
Yeah.
And it's personal for them. They're all saying it's personal. So I don't think it has anything to do with making money at this point.
I think it doesn't. I think that they're going to hold no matter what. The question is,
when will they stop? They'll stop when these guys die.
The question is, will their holdings continue to drive the price up? Or is it constant buying that drives the price up, and will their holding not affect it?
Then there's the other thing of what other tricks do the short sellers have up their sleeve? They're trying to infiltrate WallStreetBets and distract people with fake news or other stocks. They're trying to manipulate the price by investing money. They're using as much money as they can to try to drive the price in a certain direction. So Kramer explained what they'll do when they're attacking. They'll see every time someone offers, like if they're trying to make it go in one direction, every time someone offers a price, they'll quick buy it, and then they'll offer to sell it at a lower price to try to make it look like the price being offered is lower.
Right.
They'll quick buy it again. Every time the price goes up, they'll quick buy it and then offer it lower.
Right.
They're just trying to wipe out those guys. So it registers to the robots on the market that it's lower. They'll just keep nipping these things away to drive it down. They have so many tricks. So it was really unforeseen, the shutting down of the market. The day before I was telling you, it looks like they've done the math and it looks like this is a kind of a sure thing. Remember me saying that? And then they did that, which we totally did not see coming. So my concern is there might be something else that we don't see coming. They might sell stock, or there's other ways this could go. They might just drive this up to 1,000, like they're saying. When they get close to 1,000, some people are going to start bailing, so they might never get there.
Yeah.
I don't really know, actually. I had a prediction, but
who knows?
anyway,
we'll see on Monday, hopefully.
No, we'll see on Friday. Sunday.
We'll see
you next Sunday.
We'll see you next Sunday.
Hopefully we'll be millionaires, or else we'll be broke. Who knows?
Who knows?
Thanks for joining us.
This is the second time we've ended an episode like this.
That we don't know what's going on.
Yeah?
Yeah, now you believe me. I don't really know. Remember when you were buying Nokia, I kept saying, don't listen to me. I don't know anything. Now you know how that feels.
Okay. See you all later. Goodbye.
Bye.